Welcome back everybody, MC here with another video, and today I want to show you guys what world size and difficulty is best in Terraria. So let's get started. We are going to do single player. We're going to pick a random character. We're going to click new for new world, and let's have a look. So we'll do world size first. Small is mostly for single player if you want to have a semi-short playthrough. Medium is kind of for single player if you want to have a longer playthrough, and large is for multiplayer. I would highly recommend not doing large worlds as a solo player. You'll spend way too much time looking around and traveling from place to place, and it'll get very tedious later on in the game when you're just trying to get around quickly, and you don't want to have to put up with the size of the world getting in the way of getting to your objective quickly. The difference between small, medium, and large worlds does make a difference to your experience as well. In a small world, you'll have less enchanted shrine possibilities and less floating island possibilities. In medium, it's the same thing. You'll have less than a large amount, but you'll have more than a small amount. Usually, you'll have between around 5 opportunities to get floating islands, and I think it's like 3 times chance to get enchanted shrines. So if you're looking for the enchanted sword, for example, I'd recommend getting a medium world. Large worlds, of course, have more floating islands and more of the enchanted shrines, but because you have to look around so much for other things as well, just the size of large on a solo playthrough is not worth it. But it's completely up to yourself which one you go for, of course. I usually go medium when it comes to the world size. It's the most balanced form in my opinion. When it comes to difficulty, if you're looking for a very relaxed version of Terraria, I'd recommend going to for Journey. If you're looking for the classic playthrough, go for classic. If you're actually an expert at Terraria and you want a challenge, go for expert. And if you are a master at Terraria, go for master. A lot of people I know go straight into expert and they don't even know how to use the control toggle for using it, mining, for example. And honestly, I think if you don't know the basic controls of the game, if you don't know what bosses to do in order off by heart, and if you don't really know any strategies, classic is for you. Expert is actually really for experts, in my opinion. You have to have a few hundred hours before you start doing expert. I know that the loot isn't as good in expert as it is in classic, but believe me, you don't want the extra difficulty. 99% of people that I know who start on expert and have never done a classic playthrough before, they stop playing halfway through the playthrough and they don't finish their playthrough. So I'd highly recommend starting on classic. There's nothing wrong with starting on classic, and I just really don't think you should be playing expert unless you actually know what you're doing. And it's the same at master. Master isn't that much more difficult than expert in my experience, but it's just that much more difficult that if you are not used to killing expert bosses, there's no reason why you should go for master, honestly. At the end of the day, master mode is for people who have mastered the game. If you have like 500 plus hours, I mean, you don't have to just put it down to hours. You could have less than 500. But if you haven't killed every single boss on expert multiple times, if you don't have strategies in mind for every boss already, if you don't know what order to do the bosses in, if you don't know how to use control to control toggle, then you shouldn't be playing master mode, honestly. If you don't know how to make a bed, you shouldn't be playing master mode. It really is as simple as that. Just please go for expert if you are an expert, and classic mode if you are a classic player, if you're a brand new player. And if you're just looking for relaxation, go for Journey. When it comes to the world type, if you're playing classic, I would go random. If you're playing expert or master, I'd go crimson, just because crimson is so much better than corruption these days. Some people prefer the corruption for the scarf, which gives 17% damage reduction. But if you're looking to actually do a 100% run on your playthrough, I'd recommend crimson. Now, technically, you can put corruption into crimson anyway, and vice versa. But if you don't want to be messing with that, because it can be a pain sometimes, just stick with crimson if you're on expert or master. The Braid of Confusion is just too good of an item, and you really want to make sure that you give yourself the best chance of surviving. So, as I say, you want to do a medium world if you're solo, small if you want a quick run, Large if you are in a multiplayer world. You want to do classic if you've never played the game before, or maybe if you're coming back after many years and you don't remember how it works. Expert if you're an expert. Master if you've mastered the game. Crimson if you're on master or expert. Random if you're on classic. And corruption is okay to click if you're on classic as well. And of course, the people who prefer corruption over crimson can stick with corruption anyway. I used to prefer corruption because of the scarf, but unfortunately, the upgrade for the crimson has been too big of a buff to ignore. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, please ask. I hope I covered everything here for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know which worlds you decide to make yourselves. Thank you very much for one last time, and I'll see you again in the next video. Ciao, ciao!